The most powerful non-nuclear weapon of Russia, undoubtedly. That rare case of truly unparalleled weaponry.
A substance that combines with oxygen and as a result incinerates everything living in nature.
A system equipped with shells that literally burn vast areas to ashes. Buratino. Solnsepek, Tosochkandu, and recently a completely new one, Dragon. These are all names of Soviet-Russian heavy flamethrower systems. A truly formidable, but as it turns out, also vulnerable adversary. To begin with, it should be noted that TOS, or Heavy Flamethrower System, is Soviet and Russian weaponry designed to disable lightly armored and automotive equipment, ignite and destroy buildings and structures with a volumetric explosion, as well as eliminate enemy personnel located in open areas and fortifications. The first representative of this family was the Soviet flamethrower system Buratino, or TOS-1, developed in the 1970s.
The TOS-1 has 30 launch tubes for unguided rockets which are mounted on a rotating platform. A special fire control system was used in the set. This includes an optical sight, a laser rangefinder, and an electronic ballistic calculator.
A turning point in the future of Buratino was the testing of rockets with a new filling composition. In 1985, for the first time in an MLRS rocket, a thermobaric mixture was used, which gave new life to the Buratino system. Almost immediately after the appearance of thermobaric rockets, Buratino achieved its first combat success. This happened during the withdrawal of Soviet troops from Afghanistan. The point is that the effect of thermobaric munitions on targets in the mountains caused enormous damage to the enemy due to the mutual overlapping of air shock waves and their multiple reflections from the surrounding rocks. The peculiarity of a thermobaric shell lies in the dispersion of a combustible substance in the form of an aerosol, followed by the detonation of the resulting gas cloud.
The main point is the use of a combustible substance that combines with oxygen and accordingly burns out all living things. In principle, in terms of destructive power, it is the second weapon after nuclear, if you look at it that way. But let's talk about the fact that, once again, its capabilities are limited. Plus, this weapon is indiscriminate in action, meaning its use in urban combat conditions in urban areas is prohibited by all conventions.
The power of a large caliber thermobaric shell is comparable to that of very small tactical nuclear munitions, with the only difference being that they lack the radiation effect of damage. The tactical and technical characteristics of the TOS-1 are as follows. The system's weight is 42 tons, the number of launch tubes is 30, the time for a full salvo is 7.5 seconds, the minimum firing range is 400 meters, and the maximum, which is the main disadvantage of the system, is only 3.5 kilometers. The system is capable of reaching speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour. The crew of the Buratino consists of 3 people. The Buratino, as we have already mentioned, has proven itself well in confrontations with the lightly armed Afghans. But as soon as it came to more serious opponents ranging from artillery to tanks, the short maximum range made the TOS-1 a very vulnerable and easily accessible target. 20 years later, in 2001, the TOS-1 Buratino was modernized and renamed TOS-1A Solonsepek. During the modernization, the focus was on increasing the range and destructiveness. It is this Solonsepek that Russian invaders are actively using in the war with Ukraine.
Repeatedly, since February 22nd, there have been reports either of the destruction of the TOS-1A Solonsepek or the capture of the units themselves, or the loading vehicles.
Be that as it may, the task set by the Russian engineers was accomplished. The modernized TOS has reduced the number of launch tubes and the time required for a full salvo. But most importantly, the maximum range of impact has significantly increased by 2.5 kilometers. But even this is clearly not enough for the system. Ukrainian drone operators regularly destroy the multi-million-dollar Russian Solnsepeks. Despite their vulnerability and destructiveness, heavy flamethrower systems cannot be dismissed. Due to their indiscriminate principle of impact, TOS systems have been dubbed inhumane weapons, and thermobaric munitions are outright banned by international conventions on warfare. But for the invaders, rules are not written.
These TOS systems were used, and accordingly both Solntsepek and Tosochka were employed. As early as 2022 during the battles for Popasna, Severodonetsk. Later, they were recorded accordingly in Mariupol.
The next stage in the evolution of Russian flamethrower systems was Tosochka, also known as TOS-2. Unlike the two previous versions, the developers decided to abandon the tracked base. Tosochka was mounted on 6 wheels from a Ural truck. The wheel chassis significantly increased the mobility and range of the launcher. In the fall of 2023, the Russian Ministry of Defense published footage for the first time of the TOS-2 heavy flamethrower system in operation in Ukraine. The tactical and technical characteristics of the TOS-2 are the weight Napytu has reduced to 20 tons due to the abandonment of tracks. The launcher has 18 guides. The time for a full salvo is 10 seconds. The maximum firing range has also significantly increased. According to various sources, it ranges from 10 to 15 kilometers, depending on the ammunition. Thanks to the wheeled base, the maximum speed of the system has increased to 100 kilometers per hour. And here we smoothly transition from real weapons to phantom ones. Russia is actively pushing information about the readiness of the new flamethrower system, TOS-3 Dragon. Reputable Western media are eagerly picking up on the information from Russia. In particular, the German Welt published an article about the omnipotence and almost invincibility of the Russian Dragon. And here, many questions arise for the German panic-stricken journalists. How do they draw conclusions about the Russian flamethrower system without having any tactical and technical specifications or a single photo or video confirmation of the existence of this system?
In April 24th, a report appeared, from Russian media no less, claiming that they supposedly created the first model of the TOS-3 Dragon. However, there are no photo or video confirmations. Therefore, there is not the slightest reason to say that the TOS-3 Dragon has already been directly handed over to the armed forces of the occupying country.
TOS systems are indeed formidable weapons, but even the fact that Russia continuously modernizes these systems and, as in the case of the TOS-2, does not start mass production, points to a simple conclusion. Heavy flamethrower systems have many flaws and are definitely not all-powerful.
Therefore, when the German Welt is currently stirring up panic about the TOS-3 Dragon, which supposedly can even combat bunkers, well, this evokes nothing but mild irony. That is, it's either a misunderstanding of the very nature of the tactical and technical characteristics of the rockets used by the TOS systems, or it's outright disinformation.
The gradual increase in maximum range of use can significantly protect flamethrowers from FPV drone strikes. But FPV drones are far from the only effective weapon against the Russian Dragons.
If we are talking about the confrontation between MLRS and accordingly TOS, even the BM-21 Grad has a range of over 20 kilometers, not to mention more advanced systems. Let's not even consider the Russian ones. But if we take the same HIMARS, MLRS Mars, they have a range of up to 70 kilometers. So, well, there's really no comparison here.
That's all for now, friends. Don't forget to write in the comments about which types of weapons you would like to learn more about. Also, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next episodes of Arsenal.